Hello and welcome one more time to my YouTube channel. So yeah, we've got a little project happening today, and this all really centres around this guitar. Whoa! This here is a Paul Reed Smith PRS S2 Standard 22, means it's got 22 frets, and it's got this 2-knob 3-way pickup switch configuration and a tremolo, and generally speaking it's a perfect guitar, but the pickups are shit. It really deserved to have better tone. What led me to make my choice here was Greg Koch, phenomenal guitar player, one of my favourite guitar players of all time. Gregory Koch, the Gristle Master or Meister or Man or whatever he calls himself. Unbelievable player. He swears by Fishman Fluence pickups. He's even got his own signature set. I was watching one of his videos where he's demoing the Fishman Classic Humbucker set, and he made a remark on there that really sort of made me go, if he's right, if he's telling the truth and he's not just telling porkies, this could be the ideal thing for me. That was his comment. He said you can have your rig set up for Fender, for Strat single coil playing, and plug your guitar in with these Fishman Fluence Classic Humbucker pickups, and still get that really nice sort of classic PAF style pickup, Les Paul tone. Anyway, let me show you. These is what I've got. Yeah, Fishman Fluence Classic Humbucker set, and I got this in nice naughty looking black chrome finish because I wanted to pair it with this. This is a PRS S2 Standard 22 pickguard in black to go with this beautiful black guitar. So we're going to have a bit of an aesthetic change and black the whole thing out. The other great thing about these is they have multiple voicing options. Well, let's have a look. What do you get in the box? So you get the 2 pickups, you get some bits of paperwork, yeah, use a guide, we won't need that. But then you get this, look, you get two standard 25k pots, and let's see if I can get these out, get one of them out at least, there you go. And you get 2 25k push-pull pots. Now these are basically, you got a switch and you got a little bunch of points there where you can solder various things, and as well as using it as a volume pot or a tone pot or whatever, you've got switching. As well as that, you get this little box up the top end. Let's go have a look what's in there. Yeah, and in there you have all the wires. So you've got some wires in here, you've got a TRS stereo jack socket there, you've got the pickup screws, the springs, you've got a little battery connector, because obviously these are active. Can't get it out. These are active, so they're going to need a battery connection. You've got lots of different colour-coded cables, which are very useful. And yeah, you've even got a couple of capacitors there to add to your tone pots. Everything you need to do this comes with it, except one very important thing: a switch. Right, so let's have a little look at the pickups themselves. So this is the neck pickup, and you can see it's a very nice, very classic pickup shape. It's even got the little pole pieces sticking through. I haven't pulled the plastic off yet, but I will. But the real business on this pickup all happens on the back. So let me see if I can show you this. So you've got all these little terminal points, and you can perhaps see them all labelled up, and then you've got a few more bits and pieces down the bottom end there. Now, what's going on with these? Let's have a look. So you've got, on this side here, these little 3 pins. One is the output, one is for ground, and one is for power. And then over this side, where you've got 4 more pins, you've got one pin that says voice 2, another pin that says single coil, and then 2 pins that say ground. What's going on there is these pickups have multiple voicing options. What they say is that the first main voice is like your classic PAF style. Then voice 2 is like a hot rodded, slightly higher output, slightly overwound sound. And then you can coil split them. So you can go for single coil, so you can get your single coil type sounds. I looked at all the Fishman wiring diagrams, and I could not find one particular diagram that did for me exactly what I'm trying to do. So the way they've made these, they're so straightforward in principle. I don't think you really need a wiring diagram. Basically what happens is, on these 2 outputs, for voice 2 or single coil, well, they're not outputs, if you connect those to ground, that's what you get. You get that voicing. Yeah, you've got voice 2 and single coil, and that's why you've got a little ground pin next to each one of those, and those little jumpers in the thing is because if you want to, you can jump those connections and permanently set the pickup to use that voicing. But what if you don't want to do that? What if you want options? Well, that's where your push-pulls come into play. Let me get one out and I'll demonstrate. If you want to take the signal from the voice 2, if you want to switch to voice 2, what you would simply do is connect voice 2 of one of the pickups to one of those center terminals there. Yeah? And then you would connect either side of the switch, one side or the other, to ground. And then when you flip the switch, what will happen is it will connect that particular connection to the pickup to ground. Now I'll tell you what I'm actually going to do, and this is why none of the diagrams worked for me, is because I want voice 2, the hot rodded style voicing, to be my default. So, and that's going to be dead straightforward to do, and you connect both pickups to the center terminals, one side and the other, and then you connect your ground to one of the other sides of the switch, and there you go, you're done. But what about the single coil option? Well, that's why I'm happy that there's 2 push-pull pots. 2 push-pull pots. Yeah. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use one of these as my volume, yeah, and a switch to switch between the 2 voicings. And I'm going to use the other one as my tone pot, with the option to switch to single coil or not. Alright, so here we are, we've got all our stuff, and so first thing we're going to do, start with, is just mount everything onto this and go from there. And before I start mounting things, I'm going to peel off the protective plastic. Alright, so we've got everything mounted to the pick guard that needs to be mounted to the pick guard. Buttons are all in good shape. Pushing and pulling, okay, switch is in there. So now we need to wire this whole thing up, and this should be a fairly straightforward process, but it does require some soldering. So I have my soldering iron over here. Alright, so let's get into this wiring a little bit. So there's 2 main wires with this for the 2 pickups, and that's these, and you can tell what's what because they have corresponding little plugs on one end that are either 3-pin or on these particular cables 4-pin, and as you can see with the pickups, one part of it has 3, the other has 4, so it's quite obvious which is for which. And nicely these are colour coded differently, slightly differently, just because so you know which one's going to which pickup. You can see you've got a red cable and the white cable, and the white cable is actually multi-cord. It's got a central core and it's got an outer core that's for ground. So it's important to make sure they get slotted onto the right ones. Now you can see the red one is going to be used for power. That much is obvious. So you can just about tell, looking at the plugs, which cable connects to which pin. So you can see which way around really these need to go on. You can't really go wrong. So yeah, the red pin's on this side, so we're just going to connect that this way. Okay, so on the end here, 2 cables are actually shrink wrapped together. So snip. So here we go, snippy snip, bosh. Alright, so we've got our cables liberated from each other at this end now. So I'm just going to strip about 1 centimetre. There we go. Just give that a little twist. Yeah, there we go. Okay. It's coming off there. There we go. So yeah. There we go. It's quite a lot. But that's all that we need. Alright, we're tinned all the way up on this thing. Oh, that's nice. I've trimmed a little piece of shrink wrap there. Send that down to the end. And we'll just give that some persuasion so it stays in place. Alright. So that's the end of our hot wire. Oh, we could tin this as well, couldn't we, while we're at it. Alright, that's that cable dealt with. Let's do the one for the other pickup now. We know what we're doing. I'm going to tin everything up down here that needs tinning. So let's get all our points tinning. So we're going to. Alright, so I'm going to tin the pots as well while I'm here tinning things, in case I start to run out of solder. And I'm actually going to tin this switch part, these little switch terminals as well. It's everything. Right, I'll tell you what, before I start wiring things up, what I'm actually going to do is understand exactly what's happening with these push-pull pots in terms of what connects to what. So for that, I just want to do a continuity test to be 100% certain. So here's a machine that goes beep when you connect 2 parts together. Let's have a look. Okay, so when the switch is in the normal down position, you'll see I'm connecting the centre pin there to this lower pin, because these are effectively what you call DPDT switches, double pole, double throw, which means it's effectively 2 switches in one. If you just wanted to switch one thing, you would only need one half of this. You would just need those first 3 pins on one side. Alright, so just to show you, let me connect this centre pin again to this top pin. You'll see nothing, right? Oh, and I accidentally touched them there, nothing. Centre to the bottom pin, and we're getting our connection now. So we flick the switch. What should happen now is centre pin and the top pin. There we go. When the switch is down in its normal position, it's connected to this, the middle is connected to this bottom pin. So what does that mean? That means that's where we want our ground connection. Yeah? That's what we want to ground. So where are we going to ground it to? Well, we're going to use the outside of the pot. Any part of the metal on the outside of the pot we're going to ground it to. So why don't we make those connections? Okay, we've got our tone cap on, we've got our connection between the tone pot and the volume pot, we've got our volume pot grounded, and we've got the right side of the switch that we need grounded on here. So we can do the same over here now. Take it from me, I'm not in the mood to be too helpful. I'm sticking with sucking the life out of this. Your weak agenda doesn't pique my interest. Nothing personal, I just couldn't care less. Try telling it to someone who listen. Too busy on my own fucking mission. So here's our bridge pickup, and that wants to go onto there. Alright, that's good. And then, what do we think? Best place to connect ground here? I'm going to say on here, because it's just more out of the way and not stretching. Alright, and while we're at it, let's connect our neck pickup as well. Alright, so if these are going to connect to ground, they may as well both connect to the same place. Solid grounds there now, and that can tuck in there, I guess. I don't know, we'll have to see how all this plays out. We could cable tie them there, keep that neat. Cable ties are your friends. So, alright, why don't we look at wiring up these little connections now. So again, we've got colour-coded wires here, and you can see here where they need to connect is to the voice 2 and single coil pins here. So let's pop that on, there we go. Our green wire is for our voice 2 option, and the blue wire is for our single coil option. Well, so what did we say? We said we were going to use this pot for the voicing options and this pot for the coil split. So all I need to do here is wire this to 1/2 of the centre pad on our switch here. So let's do that. And same situation here, we've gone to the right side of that for the thingy, so we'll do the same on this bit. So that is now our bridge pickup fully wired up. So let's do the same with the neck pickup. Anyway, I want to get this into a situation where I can test it, so let's make our last few connections. So at this point we need power and we need signal. Time for our TRS use some little bolts for this. There we go. I think this might be what the little tiny piece of shrink wrap they give you is for. Let's see. See, what I would do at this point usually is get all these pointed together, show them all in the same bit. Yeah. Kind of twizzle them a little bit. Clamp them together like this. And get in here. Move that one out of the way. Get in here with a big clump of solder. That's all our power connections together, and then push this up over the end. And shrink that bastard shut. We're ready to connect our battery, but first we need a jack. The rest of the jack wiring up. So yeah, let's whip the stuff out of the other guitar. Get the rest of this wired up, and I wanted to reuse this wire, didn't I? So it's a good job I'm ambidextrous. Okay. That's it. We're fully wired up. Sorry, if I plug a jack cable into that now, we should have a fully active circuit. So perhaps now we can do the good old-fashioned tap test. So let's have a little. Oh, all right. So volume off on the guitar, volume up. Well, that's good. That's the bridge pickup position. It sounds like that's working. In the middle's both. That sounds like that's working. And in the neck position, got our neck working, but not the bridge. That sounds perfect. That would suggest that's working. I'm not bothered about that extra little bit of noise because we've got all this exposed, and so now we're going to have to cram this into the guitar. And see what's what. So before we do that, let's see if maybe we can clean this up a little bit. Oh, you bad mama jamma. Alright, so silly me, didn't realise that the hole where this goes in there is just tiny on this side but drilled out on the other side. So I'm going to have to unhook all of these, feed them through, and then wire it from the outside. So solder an iron back on. there she is, all finished. Look at that, all blacked out and sexy looking with those Fishmans in it. You know what, right? I couldn't find any information anywhere on Fishman's website or otherwise that definitively said how you set the pickups, how you balance the pickups, what the height is recommended at. Even the little guide that comes with it mentions pickup height, and it just says it's important. That's it, literally. It just says it's important that your pickup height is right. So I basically went with what I would normally do with active pickups and set them at about 3mm. It's not bad, I'll be honest with you. Let's have a little listen and see what you think. So, starting with the bridge pickup. Remember, I wired this so the default setup is voice 2, hot. And there's some interesting things about that. And that there is the coil split, that there is the voicing. So yeah, here's the bridge pickup with the voice 2. Less treble there. Sounds nice. And this is the noise as well is really nice. I mean, there's hardly any. This is a Fender Deluxe Reverb amp, notoriously noisy. Very vintage-y type tones, aren't they? Switching to the single coil on this end. That is convincing. So far so good. Shall we try switching to voice 1, which is the sort of more classic PAF style. So here we go. Not as hot. It's nice. Yeah, definitely on the bridge pickup there. I think I prefer the single coil's nice. It's convincing. It's not bad at all. But I definitely prefer the hotter voicing on the bridge pickup. So why don't we move to the neck pickup? And yeah, so we've got the hotter voicing here and the full humbucker. the single coil. That's not bad. It's very hot for a single coil. Let's try the sort of classic voicing, voice 1. Do you know what? I tell you what, I prefer that voicing on this pickup. There's just something a bit cleaner, a bit more expressive, I guess. So do you know what? As much effort as I put into wiring all this up, I've got a feeling at some point I will take all this apart again, and I will set this up permanently, voiced for voice 1 on this and voice 2 on this. So yeah, well, let's play them both combined. This is with them both hot. It's a nice tone. Doesn't sound like anything in particular. It doesn't sound like a Les Paul with both pickups on. It hasn't got that quack. Switch to classic tone and see what that does. Nice, whatever's happening. Oh, let's try the single coil with that. definitely some sparkle there, isn't there? Well, last thing actually, with the single coil engaged, you've still got the 2 voicing options, so let's see what happens there. Bridge, hot, single coil. Vintage. Got some of that spank of a more telly than Strat though, isn't it? Let's go to the bridge, the neck pickup rather. So this is the hot rodded single coil. Vintage neck single coil. In conclusion, yeah, definite improvement. Was GREG KOch correct? Can you get usable, vintagey, Les Paul-y sort of tones out of a environment set up for a Strat single coil type thing? Yeah, I think it's not bad. It's pretty close. It's definitely an improvement from what it was. And look how cool that looks as well. Look, it looks slick, sick as shit. Yeah. So yeah, tell me what you think, you know, by all means, whack a comment below, like and subscribe, do all that thing, press buttons down there, turn on notifications so you get a blip on your phone when I post some new stuff as well. Go check out my merch store as well, why not, while you're there. Buy something as well. Well, we got t-shirts, band t-shirts, even got plectrums. And a bunch of other tats as well, like sunglasses and backpacks and watch straps. Not band related, just stuff, cool shit to buy that I thought looked cool, right? Anyway, so head over there now, and thanks for watching, and see you next time, bye!